Maliss Rs Magna. We also have the power of the rank 4 turbo spam and the power of Umi. Make sure you guys smash the link crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more comment. Now, this is one of the lists that caught my attention this week because there was a topic of conversation with the Rs Magna stuff. You know, what if we were to build this into a deck like, you know, this that already is going to be link spamming, and we just continue to use it as, you know, extender packages. And that's exactly what, you know, I guess we've gotten here. Was not exactly something that I had really expected, but also, I mean, what if an Exceed monster and or link monster is special summon while this card is banished? These are free bodies to come back that actually further allow you to consider filtering through and kind of keep things going. This also finally gives me a reason to seeing why Typhoon has been showing up in the OCG right now, because it is a cleanup to beating the very notorious Mind Scan deck. And the fact that the OCG has been forced to mitigate this and actually forced to shift around to play this is actually hilarious. We've also got Goemons down here. We also do get to see Spatial Trunades, which are great, but also we get to see the return of Nightmare Corruptor Ibli. I am actually happy to see Nightmare Corruptor Ibli having a topic of conversation yet again. And the more that we are able to just kind of navigate some of this BS down here is really, really cool. I just like the fact that this deck can poop out a Medi-Curious on an end board and actually just kind of roll through a level of control against the opponent. Like, that's actually pretty impressive. Also, WP Fancy Ball is really, really fancy in this deck. Definitely like the control that you're getting. Next up here, the rank 4 turbo deck. This deck is quite disgusting and is actually a pseudo, if I recall correctly, probably going to do some degeneracy with the Chronomaly Atlantis. So this thing gives you the ability to gain attack equal to the equipped, but you can detach one Exceed material from this, send the equipped number monster to the graveyard to half your opponent's life points, and you cannot conduct your battle phase the turn that you do this. Well, what happens if we kind of just drop through 2 of these? For example, you know, 4,000 goes down to 2,000, and then, you know, you've got Fiendsmith burning you have Fiendsmith burning technology back here to be able to do things. And then, of course, this is actually crazy to me, man. You're playing the Umbral Horror stuff just because it's free extenders. You've got Zubababa Knight, which also just acts as additional gas for this deck. And even more disgustingly enough, you're playing Magical Midfield Breaker just to make it so that the opponent's not even going to be able to, you know, respond to your cards. I don't like that that's a trend that we can see here. But also, this does kind of prove that Magical Midfield Breaker, at least in the case of us in the TCG, you know, we actually did correct hits to actually checking this. Because judging by what I'm seeing here, and, you know, number 6, Chronomaly Atlantis, actually doing things, that is not exactly what we want to be seeing right now. So whatever turbo decks you've got coming on along here, yeah, see the TCG-ification of this, yeah, RIP to extending this on out is a possible protection, but that doesn't really matter. It's just blast through and go to town. What a list. Next up, we get to see the water strategy. Now, we do get to see developments in the Atlantean Dragoon side of this deck, which I actually think is kind of cool, honestly. Dragoons obviously does get you into some filtering, but also, you know, this gives you access into Neptibus, so you can kind of keep the Congo line of the control side of this going. But also, you don't see Mullen Glacia in the main deck. Actually, Mullen Glacia is adapted down here in the side deck. So you're still doing the standard water technology stuff, but the list and feel has now changed. You know, you don't have to kind of rely on that broken stuff. Now you can just kind of safely kind of hide behind Kyroshin. You're still going to be able to go through the legendary Atlantis stuff and be able to do things, but this stuff is just a consistency enabler. Also, you know, OCG has access to the Bahamut Shark, which is crazy because they have totally awesome at basically full power, and they're justifying this card's existence. Meanwhile, the TCG just does not like having this around, which is crazy. We are playing 2 Neos Daedalus Rage and then 1 Levia Dragoon. I think the ratios on that are fine. I don't really see a reason to kind of extend out beyond that. They're also going 2 Advent of Atlantis, 2 copies of the Atlantis Call, and they're also playing 1 copy of the Field Spell. I don't hate that. Obviously, I do think kind of reducing the numbers on some things down to more essential combo pieces usually does help the deck out a little bit more consistently work. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. You need the deck to be able to do its finest to be able just to combo up. And I don't really... It's good. I just wish we had, you know, Bahamut Shark to make this deck, you know, playable on our side of the game, which really stinks. Next up, we get to see Sacred Beast. Now, this is a little bit of an older list because Called by the Grave is chunking on around here in the side deck, so apologies for that. But I still wanted to look at the Sacred Beast side of the OCG because the more this deck kind of pops up, I feel like it's more of a topic of conversation. Now, I do see we are choosing to play the Magician Souls in here. This is actually kind of interesting. So Magician Souls can drop the Pharah because it just needs to send a level 6 or higher spellcaster from the deck, which automatically gets the Pharah into rotation, which is kind of interesting. I mean, that's fine. Also, we are subbing out. We're playing Delta, Gamma, and of course a driver. We're also playing one of the Summoner of the Sacred Beast. I guess... At this stage, your deck doesn't... You need your deck to be consistent. And I guess bulking down too much on the fatties can kind of take away that level of consistency. So that can actually potentially hurt things. But I kind of like that. Also, Card of the Soul still is absolutely fantastic in this deck, man. Card of the Soul, if your opponent's not done any stupid cheesy burn damage to you, you can search for your 4K 4Ks, your 4K 4K, and you're good to go. The only time that this card is going to feel really bad is when you're playing against an offbeat Fiendsmith player that decided that they wanted to Lacrima burn you, and now you're just sitting there with the absolute biggest shit-eating grin because now this card's invalidated. That is the only downside that I personally have with Card of the Soul. It is absolutely great going first in pretty much going second scenario. With the random burn decks that Konami has built, I cannot imagine that this is going to be a really, really fun time. Next up here, we get to see some of the Destiny Hero specials. So I have seen a lot of this deck popping up. I think having access to just doing the Destiny Hero shenanigans is really, really good. But this deck is very much a build a giant field and just attempt to win the game. And if it doesn't actually, get the job done, well, you just kind of lose. You also kind of notice down here, they built in actual Fallen and Virtuous targets. So we are kind of relying on Fallen and Virtuous just to kind of be able to clean up some of those big fields that the opponent has, which is fine. I also do like the fact OCG they have loved a Pointer of the Red Lows. This is one of their best side deck cards they can actually have to be able to push through, get that hand knowledge, and just know exactly where to go. They're also subbing in the Dark Angel too. Dark Angel is nowhere near the main decks. No. If you're considering Dark Angel on the main deck, I feel like you're just absolutely doing it wrong. Also, shout out to Perulia. I don't know if you've noticed in a lot of these deck list videos, especially on the OCG side of things as of late. But Perulia is just infinitely better value, especially with Toons looking to play Rizal cards way more consistently now. You really are just going to get some more advantage off of that. And I think that that's pretty solid, honestly. You want as much generational advantage as you can kind of get, and I think that's a pretty good opportunity to do so. So what do you guys kind of think about everything going on here? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.